Well, welcome once again to Calaveras Living. Now, you may be aware of it or you may not, but I hope you are aware of it, that April is National Autism Awareness Month. And we're going to talk about autism on today's program, and also talk about Mind Matters, which is an organization that deals with autistic young people, or of all ages really, and other disorders. We're going to talk with Gloria Miller, who works with Dr. Thompson, who started Mind Matters. And Gloria, it's good to see you.
Hello, it's nice to be here.
Good. And Mind Matters has existed for how long now?
5.5 years, so we're still relatively young.
Good. And Dr. Ryan Thompson did start it, right?
He and his wife Kim have a son, Mitchell, who is autistic, and they had difficulty finding services for Mitchell in our area, and they didn't want other families to go through what they had been through. So when Mitchell was 16, they decided to start Mind Matters. So we've been a nonprofit in Murphys for the last 5.5 years.
Okay, now who came up with that good name?
I think it was Dr. Thompson.
Is that right?
And our logo is M squared, so that probably was Dr. Thompson as well.
Yeah, I've seen the logo. Now, he devotes how much time to that? Probably quite a bit.
Well, he spends a day and a half a week in the clinic. He still has his medical practice. So he's in his medical practice 3.5 days a week, and he's at Mind Matters a day and a half a week.
Okay, now is there, what would you say just offhand, what's the mission statement? What is Mind Matters trying to do? We're
a comprehensive treatment center that helps people who've been affected by autism spectrum disorders, ADD, ADHD, and learning disabilities. And our mission is really to help those people find both help and hope through diagnosis, through treatment, through counseling. But it's a combination of help and hope for these families and these clients who are struggling. And also, our mission is to serve as a resource to the community on education and awareness to the disorders.
Evidently, there are not many other resources around here, or he wouldn't have started Mind Matters, right?
No, there really aren't. We're unique in that we not only offer a diagnosis but treatment in one location. There are a lot of places where you can go to perhaps get a diagnosis, or places where you can go to have classes or therapies or different treatments. But we're sort of a one-stop shop, so that families have one central place they can go with a team that is familiar with their disorders.
Okay, so Dr. Thompson has certain associates and colleagues who help him out, or come in and are clinicians or other doctors?
We have other clinicians. We have licensed marriage family therapists who work with us. We have teachers and other clinicians that help provide the programs and the therapies that we offer to students.
Well, it's really admirable that he started it.
We've served over 800 people since we opened the doors in 2007. Last year we served almost 400 individuals, and about 25% of those people were new to Mind Matters. So it's quite busy, and we have people from both Tuolumne and Amador County in addition to Calaveras County.
Now these are pretty much all, autism affects pretty much all age groups? Or most?
It does indeed, it does indeed. We have had patients as young as 22 months. And we had a gentleman, I believe it was last fall, who came to Dr. Thompson and was in his 60s, and he had never had a diagnosis. And he was really happy to actually have a handle. He always knew he was different. He always knew there was something different about him. And he was, I think, relieved just to be able to have something.
But he had functioned all those years.
Functioned all those years.
Wow. Now, how do you go about, of course, a lot of the treatment, the diagnosis, everything are paid for by insurance, right?
With Dr. Thompson, that's true, because he is a medical doctor, so insurance usually, the majority of the time, will cover his appointments. Sometimes it will cover counseling. It rarely covers the therapies that are needed. And we are just so blessed in this community that we have so many foundations that support our work and individuals who support our work, so that regardless of people's ability to pay when they walk through the door, the majority of the time we can help them.
Do you get any government funds at all?
We get no government funds at all.
So
These are all private, which we like, we enjoy, and we're very grateful for. A lot of local foundations, the Calaveras Community Foundation supports us, Winter Creek Foundation, Wings of Freedom, Amador Community Foundation, Sonora Area Foundation. We have a great partnership with the First Five program. We're just very blessed in that regard. And people support our fundraisers and our appeals just individuals.
Well, it's good to hear. Okay.
It really is, and it allows us to provide the services that are so needed by these.
Before we go too far, I want to show this poster because it's so attractive and it tells about some upcoming events, and the upcoming events are very important. This tells about a great play, and we'll talk about that after I show the poster, but this says Mind Matters, Murphy's nonprofit clinic treating autism and related disorder presents the Autism Chronicles, and look at this. I'm going to put it here. I hope that I can, you can get a close-up of that. Now, who did this great painting, Gloria?
This was done by Terry Wilson, who is lives in Murphy's with her husband Mark. And Terry, for those of you who know her, know that she's very talented in a number of genres. She is a talented actress, a talented director, and obviously a very talented artist.
Yeah.
And she painted this last year when we presented the Autism Chronicles the first time, and then turned around and donated the painting to Mind Matters.
Oh.
So it hangs in our lobby. We're very proud
How
of that.
large is the actual painting?
It's a little bit smaller than that poster,
Oh, is it?
but
Oh,
not a
that's-
lot. It's really a lovely piece.
That's nice. And it's the same colors?
It's the very same colors.
Okay, good. Now, this brings up the whole point that we want to make, too, especially in today's program, that the Autism Chronicles was written by Terry's husband, Mark Wilson,
Correct.
who's a talent himself. And tell me this story of Autism Chronicles. It's a play, right?
It is a play. It's a one-act play. And Mark had been wanting to do this. For a couple of years, he had talked about this. And so last year, actually he started in the fall of 2011, interviewing staff, clients, families, hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of interviews. And he took all of those interviews and distilled them into this play. So it's a series of vignettes. It actually starts with Dr. Thompson meeting Kim on a bus when they were both college students.
Is Dr. Thompson in it?
He is not in it.
Oh,
He's
okay.
played by
Somebody
a very
played-
capable actor,
Okay.
as is Kim. And it takes you through the formation of Mind Matters and then into the work that's actually being done there, and the challenges that a lot of our patients endure, and the families as well. It's so well done. It's so true because Mark did not deviate from these interviews and the emotion and the thought that people put into talking with him.
How did he get interested in this subject?
He was our board chairman at the
Oh,
time.
okay, uh-huh.
He is our board chairman.
He doesn't have any relatives or close friends with autism?
Not that I'm aware of, no. And he has just done a beautiful job. There's a lot of humor in it. So hopefully people will come out and learn a little bit about.
How many actors?
12.
12. Any of them autistic?
Yes, actually, we have a young man from Sonora who plays himself in the play, and he's Asperger's,
Oh, that's good.
which is on the spectrum.
So now that want to be sure we tell you, and I'll tell you 2 or 3 times. The dates are April 5th, April 7th, and April 14th. 3 different places, 3 venues. Black Bart Playhouse on April 5th, Sonora High School on April 7th, and Sutter Creek Theater in Sutter Creek on April 14th. And the last 2 are in the afternoon, and the previous one at the Playhouse is Black Bart is 7 p.m. So that should be very good. And it looks like the costs, I mean, you do some fundraisers. I mean, it's just $10 to get in or $12 at the door. You can buy the tickets in advance.
That's true. Yes, they can call our number at Mind Matters, which is 728-2184.
Okay.
And we'll be happy to either mail tickets to them, they can pick them up, or we'll have them at the performance. Our hope is that we have made some requests for sponsorships, so that we hope between the sponsorships and the ticket sales that we will be able to cover all of our costs.
Well,
We're
that's
not using this as a fundraiser. We're just trying to cover all of our costs. We wanted to keep the cost low so that people could afford to come.
Okay, but you can always use funds.
We can always use funds, absolutely.
Okay. You folks saw the number on the screen and also the website. Now you have another event coming up, which is a walk-run.
It is. April is a very busy month for us at Mind Matters.
And this starts in Murphy's?
It starts at Murphy's Park on Saturday, April 27th. Registration begins at 8 o'clock, and the walk-run starts at 9.
Okay, and how many people do you expect?
Last year was our first year, and we had right at 150 We were very surprised. We thought that was a great turnout because it was not a perfect day last year, and people came out and supported us. We were very grateful for that. So we think we're going to bump that up this year. People seem to have a good time and enjoy it, and you get a T-shirt with your entry fee, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, what is the entrance fee?
It's $15 in advance, $20 the day of, and that includes your T-shirt.
Well, that's pretty good. And it's a brand new, clean one.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Bright colors, great sponsors of all of our great logos of all of our great sponsors.
That's good. And the distance is what?
It's a 2.5-mile walk or a 5-mile run. It's out to Ironstone, just beyond for the run and back. So it's a really pretty course. A little hilly. If you're not a good runner or a slow walker, just be prepared. There are a few hills.
It kind of goes up and down out there.
Yes, it does. It's a beautiful course.
To the fire camp every once in a while with the prison, and it's okay driving.
Right. You don't realize it's so hilly and long.
Now, are you going to walk or run?
I'm going to be running the event, so I'll be working.
Oh, okay. That's your type of run, huh?
That's my type
run
of
the
run.
Event.
Run the event.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, getting back to autism itself, also and other related disorders, you said attention deficit disorder or ADHD, all three.
Right.
So doctor gets involved in those too.
Absolutely. Typically when we get a call, the first point of entry is with Dr. Thompson. And for new patients, he requires an hour. He does a very thorough session with the family and with the child if it's, a student age. And from there, he might have a handle on it. He might require some further information. He might suggest a further assessment by our autism specialist or other testing before he makes a diagnosis. He's very thoughtful. He's not quick to put a label on anyone who comes in. He wants to make sure that when he sits down with that family and says to them, this is what I think are the challenges your child is facing and you are facing, he's done his homework. He's really been very thorough. He's also not quick to write a prescription. There are a lot of things with this population that can help them besides prescription meds, like diet. Exercise can be very important. Routine is very important for a lot of these children, just depending on their issues and the challenges. A lot of the children come to us because they're doing poorly in school. Their inability to focus, they fidget, they're impulsive. And so we work with them in a lot of our classes to try and help with brain reprocessing, to help them learn to focus if they have visual or auditory processing issues. Our counselors work with them because a lot of times they have anxiety because they know they can't perform well in school, but they're smart, but they can't focus, or they're impulsive, so they get in trouble in the classroom. So if we can help them lessen that anxiety, then they can settle down and do better. If we can help them with other therapies to help them focus, then it's a complete approach to the challenges, and that in turn helps the family, it helps the teachers, it helps the classrooms, and it helps our community at large.
It's really a holistic approach.
We try. That's our first line. There are times when children do have to have medications in order to control their behavior, in order for them to be able to participate in the therapies or the classes. But there are many times other tacks we can take.
Now you mentioned classes. Do you have regular classes?
We do. We have a series of classes in a program called EduTherapeutics, which is, it's play therapy, so they don't really understand that they're learning. And that works very well with processing information. And then we have a computer-based program as well, which is very helpful for children who are working on processing information and retaining information. It works on memory retention, as does the play therapy. And then we have a set of classes called social thinking skills. And a lot of times children experience problems with understanding social cues. They are very black and white. They don't understand innuendo. They don't understand humor. And so our teachers work with them on what's called expected behavior or unexpected behavior, because a lot of times their behavior is deemed to be unexpected. And and so they are made fun of, or they're bullied, or they're inappropriate in situations.
Who teaches those classes, Gloria?
We have trained clinicians and teachers who teach these classes.
Where do they come from? The local area?
Local area. And we teach some of the programs we have taken to Jackson, some we are doing here in San Andreas, and some we have done in Sonora to try and keep our families from having to travel so far.
Well, that's good. I didn't realize there's so many people around here who are that aware of just what autism is and when it's properly diagnosed and how to help people who are suffering from it.
We have, Dr. Thompson, of course, is not only a medical doctor, but a father of a son who is autistic, and one is ADHD. So he has a lot of personal experience, which is of great value to our families, not just because he's a medical doctor, but because when he says, "I understand," he really does understand, and he really can help the families. And our clinicians are trained specifically to help this population, which makes a difference.
Do autism patients or autistic patients, do they normally, left without the help that you're giving, do they normally improve as they get older or get worse?
It depends on the severity of the disorder. One of the quotes that we use in the office is, if you've seen one child with autism, you've seen one child with autism. Because it manifests itself so differently.
No two alike.
Right, and that's why it's considered a spectrum, because there are so many different degrees, varying degrees.
That's
Varies from patient to
really
patient.
interesting. You evidently learn, even though you're not a medical person, you learn a lot about autism and these disorders just by being there.
Well, we have wonderful clinicians who share their knowledge, and we have staff meetings every week. And so I hear the challenges that they talk about as a team, you know, in trying to have the best approach to help our clients.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that we haven't told the audience about Autism Chronicles that you think we should? We'll tell them the dates again, but maybe more about the show itself. I mean, I think it's interesting how Mark developed the ideas and did the interviews and as you say, kept them intact in a play.
Right, he did, and it's a 1-hour production and one act, and so I hope people will come. And we had a woman who came last year, and she wanted to come because she had heard about it, and she said, "I sat there thinking, this is not my granddaughter, this is not my granddaughter, this is my granddaughter." You know, and I'm sure that was very hard for her to acknowledge.
Sure.
But we gave her enough information that she was able to say, we need to get help for her.
Okay.
And that's a good thing if we can help educate the community. Our focus last year was, you know, if one person walks out of this and the next time they see a child who is acting out or parents that they think are not doing their job, if they just stop for a second and think, maybe that child has some challenges. Maybe they're not just misbehaving.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have the ability to control their impulses. Then we've done a good job.
Well, it is a challenge.
It's the help and the hope that we hope to give these families.
There's quite a bit of research being done on autism nationally that gives Dr. Thompson help and all the clinicians.
Definitely, and of course the internet's a great source for us as well, because it allows for webinars and trainings that perhaps we can't get to or that would be too expensive, you know, for us to do. So we try and do a combination of the two. Dr. Thompson is a voracious reader, which he is always up on everything, which is really great. But he's always open to hearing what parents have read or have learned or what's being said in the press, so he knows what's out there, both good or bad, and can address that.
Okay, now parents who feel that their child might be autistic, they can just go directly to Dr. Thompson. They don't need a referral or anything.
They do not need a referral. They just need to call us and make an appointment.
So that number, once again, that's the correct number.
That's the correct number.
728-2184, and it's been up on the screen. In fact, it's right there now across my very ugly face there. 209-728-2184. Gee, it's terrible getting old. Okay.
I will say, if you're in Murphy's in April and you ride by a building that has a lot of blue lights, and you wonder what's going on, that will be the Mind Matters building.
Is that the color for autism?
That is the color for autism, and we're going to be we'll have our building decked out in blue lights. So
that's good.
that will let people know what's going on with our building.
So what are some of your other duties with Dr. Thompson? What all do you do there besides know all that you obviously know about Mind Matters?
I take no credit for anything that happens at Mind Matters. There's a great team of people there who help our clients.
Well, you're running the walk-run. You take credit for that.
And we have a great board committee. We have a wonderful volunteer board of directors who are meeting regularly to promote these events and help organize these events. So we're very grateful to all these people who take their time to support us in that way.
Good. How did you happen to get involved with Dr. Thompson? I mean, you just went to work for him and then found out about Mind Matters?
Well, I came to work for Mind Matters.
Oh, for Mind Matters.
For Mind Matters. I have my career history is with nonprofits.
Oh,
and with
okay.
nonprofit compliance and grants and that sort of thing. And they were looking for someone, and I was new to the area, and it worked out really well. I've been there 3 years.
Wow, you're a motherlode veteran.
Well, it's a good team, and I think that's what's so important, especially in the nonprofit world, to have a good team where everybody's focus is on making a difference and helping the people who come in our door.
That's good. And evidently more people in the area becoming aware of Mind Matters than just a short time ago.
True.
What do you do to publicize it, besides things like this?
Well, we don't have marketing dollars, as you can imagine. That's not on our radar screen. But we do outreach in the community. Most of our patients, almost all, have come from word of mouth, either from people who have been there or people who have seen shows on PATV, people who have read articles in the newspaper. So it's really primarily been word of mouth. The schools know about us. We have a good collaboration with schools. We've done some open houses specifically for some of the schools, and we try to participate in their events. Every middle school had a parents' fair last year. That first year was just great, and we participated in that. We participate in the Mark Twain Medical Center Health Fair. That's coming up this Saturday.
Who's usually the booth there? I mean, who's there?
If I'm available, I'm there. But again, this is where our board of directors steps in and helps us with that.
Okay, so many of them or some of them might be there.
Yes, they will be. I'll have board of directors there on Saturday, and Dr. Thompson always stops in. He's not there for the whole 4 hours, but he always is by the booth as well.
Oh, that's good. But he is there sometimes even to answer questions.
Yes, he is. He's actually participating in the run Saturday morning.
Oh,
There's a run.
He's not going to run the thing like you are. He's going to actually run.
He's going to actually run on Saturday, and then he'll be by the booth, and he will be running in our Off the Beaten Path run on April 27th. He's a participant. He, as our medical director, and Susan Diax Kearns, our clinical director, are both running in our Off the Beaten Path.
I always admire people who actually
have the knees who can do it. That's great.
So let's review all these. The Off the Beaten Path, the walk run is for autism awareness, and this is, as you say, the second annual, right? That's April 27th, and of course that's the month of national awareness. Registration starts at 8 o'clock in Community Park in Murphy's, and that should be a lot of fun.
And John, that form is on our website. People can download the entry form on our website.
Okay, and you actually have here some thanks to some sponsors, Sandra and Greg. They say Teeter.
Teeter.
Okay, Murphy's Pharmacy, Northwestern Mutual, Solar. What is that?
Universe, Solar Universe.
And Tribble and Ayala CPAs. Right? Yes. Well, that's nice. And you just said you get a lot of community support.
Right, we do, and those are our sponsors to date, and we hope to be adding some names to that before their day.
Oh, that's good. And don't forget Autism Chronicles and 3 dates. Once again, 3 different locations. Black Bart Playhouse on April 5th at 7 p.m. Sonora High School on Sunday, April 7th at 2 p.m. Sutter Creek Theater, April 14th at 2 p.m. Now, does Mark have to move? They have to move any sets, or is
Yes, they do. They do. They have already started doing read-throughs again. We lost a couple of actors from last time, so we have some new actors. So they're doing read-throughs now. They will have rehearsals leading up to the Friday, April the 5th performance, and they will have the performance on Friday night, and then on Saturday move the set to Sonora.
Wow.
And have the performance there on Sunday afternoon, and then move the set to Sutter Creek, and we'll have the one performance there.
Well, that's good. Well, Mark is an excellent writer, an excellent performer himself too, and has a lot of theater background. And Terry has directed many things in this area, including the Calaveras Follies for a number of years. We've had her on the show, and as you say, she has a lot of talents.
She does.
Now, is there any thing in the remaining time that we have here that we've forgotten or that's important that you think people out there should know?
I just want to encourage everyone to come out and learn about autism. Come out and support our walk run so that help provide the funding for people who need services. And thank our board of directors and all the volunteers who support our events. We could not do it without that volunteer support.
How many do you actually have on the board?
We have 13.
13. Who selected them, or they volunteered, or Dr.
They
knew them?
volunteered, or they were asked to serve. Our board chairman this year is Trudy Lackey, who's been in this area for a long time. And our board is very supportive of everything we do and behind it, and support us at fairs and support us at events. And we wouldn't be as strong as we are without such a good board of directors.
Nothing like having a good board.
That's right. That and a good team at Mind Matters, and it's good.
Well, that's a great name.
It is.
Mind,
it is.
as they say in Detroit, mind do matter, right? Anyway, Gloria, it's good to see you.
Thank you so much,
wish you well
Sean.
in your work. It's important work, and wish you well in running the walk run too on the 27th.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
We will see you next time on Calaveras Living. I hope you have a nice few days, but come back and see us next time. Bye-bye.